Okay, so today we're going to be talking about animationish. Animationish is the um, cloud-based software that you can use to create animation in K through 12. It's a pretty powerful little program. It does a lot of fun stuff. You can use it on a Chromebook, Mac, PC. You can often use it on your tablets and phones as well. We're just going to type in the word animationish into our Google, and there is a little dash or gap between animation and the word ish. So when we type that in, the first thing that comes up is this animationist. Here's what we want, animationish.com. And this brings us to our home page. The home page is the page that it'll go to every time you see the little paper airplane at the top of the little toolbars across the top of our screens. There are three different levels of animation within this animationist program. You have Wiggle Doodlish, and that's the place that we'll start today. You can then advance to Flipbookish, and then you can go to Advancedish. Each of these add a different layer of complexity to your animations. So let's start with Wiggle Doodlish. And today I think I want to make a simple animation of a person who's got a little smiling face. He's going to get a little bigger, a little smilier. And so let's take a look at the different tools that we have across the top of our program here. The very first thing you see, and I'm going to take my little finger and kind of highlight it there for you, is this paper airplane and the word home. That takes you back to that screen where you can choose from the Wiggle Doodlish, the animationish, and the Flipbookish, and the animationish. The new page allows you to start a brand new um, file. If you don't like what you've done, it deletes everything and starts brand new. You can open a file that you've been working on by clicking on this button. If you like something you've done, you can save it using the Save button. You can share it out by using the Share button. If you've done something that you don't like and you want to undo it, you can use this little red alligator button to undo it. If you don't like your project at all, you can completely delete it by using this button. This button adjusts the sensitivity of the pressure of your screen. For most of you, you will never want to have it off of anything other than full pressure. If you notice, if I move this pressure sensitivity to the left, it simply makes that light, the mark lighter that I would make with my drawing tool. If I'm using my finger on the little drawing pad or a mouse and that sort of thing, and you're having trouble seeing your line, it's probably because your pressure's turned down. You want to make sure that that is all the way to the top. I really don't know what the behind button does. The trace button is the button that allows us to see the image that's below us as we work on these different pages to create a flipbook style animation. In animation, we call it the onion skin sometimes, and like if you've ever used tracing paper, that's why it's called trace. It's like having a piece of tracing paper over what you've done, so you can trace over it and make sure you're getting your lines where they need to be. If you have an image you'd like to start with someday, you can use the import, but we're not going to worry about that one today. Across the bottom here on the left, we've got our toolbar. The first tool is our Select tool. You've probably seen this tool used in other applications and programs. The little arrow button lets you select things. The blue button there, or the button that's highlighted right now, is the Brush tool. This is the tool that allows us to draw and create our images on our screen. The Bucket Fill tool, you probably know what this does, but it will fill an area with color. And if you've done something you don't like, you can use this basic eraser just like you would an eraser on your pencil. On the right hand side, we've got our color selector, and there's a couple of different ways you can select color. This is our basic palette of colors. They've got 8 colors to choose from. But if you click more colors, it brings up what they call the infinite color selector. And using the infinite color selector works like this. If you'll see the little white dot I'm using to circle that little bar, that bar is how you will adjust, or choose, I should say, a color. You can see I can move that bar, or if I just touch with my little pen anywhere on that color bar, it'll select a color. Now, once I've selected a color, I can use that infinite color selector at the top to choose any of the values in that range for that color. If I add white to a color, I get a tint. If I add black to a color, I get a shade. So all those light greens are like tints of green. All those dark greens are shades of green. So by having the infinite color selector, I can now choose from any of the tints or shades, all those values of green. I can choose anywhere in there. I'm going to, though, stick with a basic selection here. I'm going to go with my little dark, it's really a dark blue. I like to draw with it. The next tool is your brush size. If you see, I can move that selector left and right to make it a little larger or a little smaller. The next two buttons are not highlighted right now, the back and the next button. As I create images, it's going to automatically begin to create pages for me in the Wiggle Doodlish. And so let's take a look at how we can make a simple animation. So I'm going to start with just a simple smiley face. A circle. A couple eyes. And I'm going to start off with just a little bit of a frown, because he's going to start off on a frown and then go to a smile. And so the next thing I do, I've got him there and I like him. I'm going to go to the next. See how it turned green once I finish my drawing? This lets me create and go to a next slide. So I'm going to use my drawing tool and I'm going to do the best I can, but not worry about being perfect as I try to trace over my little guy. And now his little frown is going to slowly start to change to a smile. I'm going to go to my next slide and I'm going to trace over again. I'm going to make simple eyes. And I'm going to now start making it slowly again into that smile. So we're just doing a little 3 frame on the Wiggle Doodlish, and then we're going to start looking how we can bring that in to the next level. So the Wiggle Doodlish gets us going with 3 little slides here. And now I want to look at something. Now I can put it in play and I can see he's beginning to kind of get that smile. I'm going to stop and I'm going to go back to my first frame and I want to add color. So I'm going to choose that little bucket fill. I'm going to choose my yellow and I'm going to pop it right in on him. When I go to the next frame, I can do the same thing. And then finally that last frame. Now when I hit play, let's take a look. Yay! Now he's got a little color. So what do I want to do with it? I want to bring that little animation from my Wiggle Doodlish, my little 3 frame simple animation. I'm going to click next level. That next level is going to let me go to the Flipbookish. I do want to save this project. I'm going to save it as Smiley. Now my project's been saved. Now I've opened it in Flipbookish, which is the second level. You can see it here on the top left. We've gone from Wiggle Doodlish now to Flipbookish. And so with Flipbookish, as you can see across the bottom, I can now add lots more frames. And that's what I want to do. I want to add another frame. Just like the 3 frames previous, I've got that onion skin, and I'm going to go back in and draw another face here. Get my eyes in. And now that smile's really going to start to take off. All right. I then want to get my bucket fill. I'm going to fill it with yellow. I'm going to add another frame. I'm going to choose my brush tool. I'm going to get that color I liked. I'm going to trace again my happy face. And I'm going to add the eyes again. And now he's got a great big smile. All right, and look, I'm going to put maybe a little smile dimples that happen in the corners of his mouth. All right, so I'm going to add my yellow with my bucket fill. Now, if I hit play, Now he's got a nice little smile. There's a couple other buttons that happen to pop up, or another little button, which is the speed. I can adjust the speed. I can put it on slow and take a look at what looks like slow. Or I can put it on fast. Let's see what it looks like fast. Ooh, that's really fast. And on medium. And then I also have the loop button. If I click it, it's just going to keep showing me the animation on a loop over and over and over again. All right. So now I've got my happy little face, and he makes this smile. And I have a nice little animation I like. But now I'd like to do something a little different. I'd like to add a background. How can I do that? Well, that's where we go to our next level. If I click next level now, I'm ready to go save again. And now I'm going to call this one Smiley. But this one, I'm going to call it 5 frames. Because I added those extra frames. Awesome. Now, when I've gone in advanced-ish, if you'll notice in the top left, it's now light blue, and a few other things have changed. First of all, my color selector has gotten a little different. It's kind of simplified. And now I've got this foreground and background down at the bottom. So now I can select my background. I can just click on the background there, and I can add something or do something to the background. And what I want to do is create a simple words that say thank you, because I'm making a little thank you card to all those first responders, nurses, and doctors who are on the front lines helping us out and doing all the things that we need to be doing. And so, first of all, I want to see if it'll let me do a bucket fill here in the background. Now I'm going to have to actually make... Oh, I wanted to show you one other thing that happened that popped up. This is a new tool. This is the hand tool. I can move any of the elements that I've created within the design by using the hand tool, by selecting it and kind of moving that image around. Again, on my background though, I want to create, and I'm just going to do I'm going to turn my brush size up, and I'm going to do a sort of a paint back here. Now notice as I go, oh no. Try that again. Alright, I'm just going to paint around my little guy. Go to the outside. Alright. And I like a blue background. You choose whatever color you want for yours. And yours doesn't even have to be a smiley face. I've got some students who like to do little flowers instead of smiley faces and so forth. This is just our simple first project, learning how the animation works. Alright. And then I'm going to use my brush. I'm going to turn my size down. And I'm going to choose a bright red. And I'm going to write thank you. All right, now let's take a look at what that looks like in animation. Oh, wait a minute. What happened? Well, my background is only on the one page. So I need to copy and duplicate that and make sure it goes to those next pages. Okay, the way that we copy that background and make sure it goes to each page in the background anytime you see these little buttons here on the left, these are these duplicate buttons. And you're going to, each time I click it, you see it adds it to another frame. All right. So now when I put my animation in motion, I get that animation with that background repeated on each of those frames. I like it. It's a nice, simple animation. You can kind of see how you could create different levels there. You can create lots of different animations going on that layer above. You can import background photos if you wanted to bring in a drawing that you've done in a different application like Chrome Canvas, Sketchpad, any of those. But that's animationish. That's how you use it. When you get done with a project you like, you can come up here and click Save. I'm going to click and save my name, or save it as Smiley Thank You. And then I want to show you how you can share this out with all of those people that you want to share it with. So now I'm going to go to the share button. When we share, we want to save these as GIFs, the GIF button. We're going to click the GIF button. And when we do, it's going to make our file into a simple little animation that you can then put on to different social media sites. You can save to your home pages or your own web pages and that sort of thing. And again, I'm going to name mine. Let's see. Smiled. I like that. All right. And this is what I'm saving it as on my computer. I'm going to save it on my desktop so I can find it real easy. There we go. And then the other thing we can do is import that or save that GIF and send it to people on our as an attachment. You can embed it and make it a link that you can click to and send people to it. And you can put that on your Google Drive and share it with your friends. All right, guys, have a great day. I hope you enjoyed it.